Alright guys, welcome to another beer review. Take two because I ran out of space on my phone. Happy days. But yeah, returning to Cloudwater, and we're looking at a can of the DIPA Citra Cryo. And lighting is really awful, and so is my hair. So on both counts, no surprises there then. Let's see if we can just make this a little bit more palatable. No, that's just going to make it a bit too dark. Yeah, so anyway, this is a double IPA, clocking in 8.5%. This DIPA features a blend of new season Citra Cryo and Citra BBC hops. Oi oi. Backed up by Centennial and Simcoe, we fermented with WLP 095 for light stone fruit esters. So the artwork is courtesy of Louise Sheeran. Lovely sort of stuff. Reminds me of ice cream for whatever reason. I love that artwork, nice and simple. And yeast is WLP 095. Rome hops are Citra Cryo, Citra BBC, Oi Oi, Centennial, Simcoe and Enigma. And the bittering hop is Pilgrim CO2 and Alpha Extract. Malts are Golden Promise, Flaked Oats, Dextrin Malt and Dextrose. And yeah, 440ml can. So beer is already in the glass, already in the Cloudwater glass. And it looks like orange juice with a bit of pineapple juice as well. Got a lovely sort of deep, intense orangey amber look to it. It looks lovely in this lighting, actually, really quite luminescent. Although that being said, it's not as hazy or as murky as some of the other IPAs, pale ales and double IPAs from Cloudwater, but it certainly looks the part and it thins out nicely in the bottom. But yeah, a few bits and bobs floating around. Lovely look to the beer. So let's see, and the head, when I try and reinforce it, you just get about half finger's worth of a slightly off-white head. Anyway, looks good. Let's give it a bit of a sniff. And it's all about that Citra hop. I'm not, clued in to hops, because I'm clueless when it comes to these sorts of reviews. So I'm learning, most of the time, from every beer. But one of those hops that I find so distinguishable and detectable is the Citra hop. It's up there with me for Cascade, and I'm starting to get familiarised myself with stuff like Mosaic and things of that nature. And of course, you've got the lagering hops, like Tettenauer and I've forgotten, Mandarina. The Mandarina Bavaria hop. So I'm starting to slowly build up a little bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Completely lost my train of thought, and I'm going to turn the Xbox off because I can't be arsed with Skyrim right now. It gets really interesting, then boring, then interesting, then boring. But resume, my hoppy resume, I suppose I'd call it. But yeah, Citra. Lovely, gentle, sort of orangey citrus as opposed to like lemony and limey, although you do get a slight lemony / lime zing. But it's all about like tangerine, blood orange, orange, easy peelers, grapefruit as well, more on the pink side because it's got a little bit of sweetness there. But then you get a subtle mango hit. I had a mango Rubicon while I was at work today, and I took the first sip and it was actually like drinking an IPA. Do you know what I mean? It's weird how something like that you instantly think, oh god, this IPA. So if you're becoming a bit of an alcoholic and you love your hazy IPAs, start drinking Rubicon Mango because it tastes like a really hoppy IPA, but with really, synthetic sweetness on the back end. But yeah, this is lovely. A little bit of leafiness as well. Lovely biscuity sort of malt character also coming through. And that ABV is masked really, really nicely. Lovely, just gentle sweetness. Gentle sweetness. It's like you poured honey over a fruit salad or something like that. I don't eat fruit, so I don't know if that's a thing people do. Putting honey on a fruit salad, it seems a bit counterproductive to me. But what do I know? I'm a fat fuck. Anyway, looks good, smells good, and I'm sure it's going to taste good as well. We'll find out. Cheers. Oh yeah. Wow, that is like Citra hop on acid. No pun intended. Yeah, that's absolutely lovely. And the great thing about it is, even though it's 8.5% ABV and it's rammed full of hops, there's no real like over the top, in your face pungency. It's got lovely dank edges, thanks to it being a double IPA. You definitely get like a sweet malt character coming through. I mean, what have they used? I don't know. I don't think any of those are known for sweetness. I mean, you get that sort of like slight oaty flavour, but I'm sure the oats have more contributed to the colour and the body. But yeah, lovely body to this. Nice gentle carbonation. It's a little bit... It's gentle carbonation, but it's got this sort of like juice stillness. So the carbonation isn't really pushing the beer around the palate. It sort of just like rests oily on your tongue. And, you know, if you're into spit swapping, tell you what, have some of this before you get down to your business. If you're into that sort of stuff, then fair enough, but shame on you at the same time. But yeah, this is lovely. Lovely sort of like acidity on the back end, which I really like. Yeah, it's got that sort of like slightly dank, savoury, like overly ripe bruised fruit character, if that makes sense. You know, where like fruit can go either really sickly, sugary sweet, or it has that sort of like slight vegetative earthiness. You're definitely getting that in this. Lovely dankness on the back edge. It's not all about the fruit and juice. You're reminded that it is an IPA and a double IPA, so you get the lovely malt build in there as well. But that being said, you could crush the hell out of this beer. You really, really could. And it's got like a slight dark honey sweetness in there as well. I think I'm almost drinking this at optimal level, because I could imagine this a bit fresher. There might be a bit of a pronounced earthy burn on the back end. But the hops have really mellowed out nicely here. They're still pungent, but not over the top, and that's what I like. So you don't feel sick after like having 2 or 3 of the same beer. Do you know what I mean? Because it just builds up. But at the same time, it's not too acidic on the end, so you're not getting acid reflux at 3 o'clock in the morning, which has sometimes happened. Happens to everyone though, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I don't know. But yeah, it's lovely. It's really nice, really is. And that yeast is definitely giving that like stone fruit character. A little bit of grapefruit, orange, subtle hint of lychee in there, a bit of mango as well. It's got that sort of like innocent smoothie vibe to it, but without like the creamy body. Yeah, it's lovely. I had one of their pale ales, which was the Citra Mosaic, I think it was, which is a bit tasty, but a bit but this is just like amped up and tasted really damn good. And if you love the Citra hop, you're going to have a wet dream over this after you've drank it. You might have a woken wet dream while you are drinking it. What is that? Like, what would be like the woke version of a wet dream? It obviously wouldn't be called a wet dream because you've got to be sleeping and dreaming. But you know what I mean? Big resiny characters now on the back end. Now that I'm talking, and my saliva's mixing with what's been coated on the palate. So yeah, it's got those like slight dank West Coast vibes. But yeah, this is lovely stuff. And yeah, I'd happily have another can of that. So that was the DIPA Citra Cryo from Cloudwater. I'm going to give that one an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a really lovely little beer. I say little, it's a double IPA. But yeah, Cloudwater have done it again. Do you know what I mean? For every sort of like mediocre beer that sometimes comes out of Cloudwater, I'm just being honest, you know, not every beer is going to hit the high notes with each individual, do you know what I mean? But that is just like reinforced, even though I wasn't really losing faith in Cloudwater, because yeah, I've got the, where is it? I've got the, I can't even point to it properly. I've got the growler, I've got the t-shirt, you know, I've got badges and stickers. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Cloudwater because I was a bit late to the party because I was living in Germany. And I don't drink enough of their beers, even when I'm in Manchester. And I've got a growler to fill, so next time I'm in Manchester and Cloudwater's open, I'm going to get myself a nice growler fill. But that being said, Cloudwater do some really fantastic lagers. And you can tell that Paul is a big fan of the likes of Turgenzeer because they do lagers so well. I know this isn't a lager, probably sacrilege to even mention that style while doing a review like this, but if the guys at Cloudwater are watching this, brew a Doppelbock. I would love to see you brew a Doppelbock. You don't have to be too creative with it, or maybe do like one just standard traditionally brewed Doppelbock, and then maybe tweak it a little bit, have a bit of fun, maybe throw it in some barrels, do a collaboration with Turgenzeer or some of the German traditional and craft breweries. I'd love to see Cloudwater do a Doppelbock. But I'd also like them to carry on making beers like this because this was absolutely lovely. So 8.5 out of 10 is what I'm going to give it. If you've tried it, then let me know your thoughts, opinions. How does it compare to some of the other beers that they've released recently? Are you a fan of Cloudwater? Have you enjoyed any of their beers recently? What's some of your favourites and highlights been? I'm really loving their collaborations recently, especially with Neighbours Track. Yeah, New Tide and Timings. I can't remember what it was called, but that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, if you're in Manchester, it's a no-brainer. You should go to the Railway Arches on. I always forget the name of the street. Even though this is brewed at Piccadilly Trading Estate, the Barrel Room. What's it called? I can't remember. I can't remember what you've got. You know, you've got so many great places in Manchester, and Cloudwater are up there with the best of them. But you don't need me to tell you that, do you, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, so 8.5 out of 10. If any of my friends and fellow beer tubers have reviewed this one, then their reviews will be down below. Of course, check out my Cloudwater playlist. Check out Cloudwater. I picked this can up from Northern Beer Temple in Wigan. Check John and Northern Beer Temple out as well. Great shop, great guy. I've picked up so many great beers in the past couple of weeks from there. And yeah, thank you for watching. Why have I become like this sort of like Jake Paul, douchey sort of, all I need is like jump cuts every 2 seconds. It's every day, bro, with that clueless drinker flow. Get yourself some of that sick merch. And yeah, don't watch any more of my videos because I am a complete knobhead. So thank you for watching, thank you for putting up with this review, and hopefully you'll come back for a little bit more. And if not, then it was fun while it lasted, and I will never forget you. Thank you for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers.